Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to the Detroit Tigers, am I right? Shit.
Fucking Motor City Kitties?
Yeah,
Motor City Kitties? More like wagon train house cats.
Wow.
Get out, Motor City Kid. Beat it. Well, the Oregon Trail house cats, that probably, let's redo that. Yeah, Oregon Trail house cats. I was expecting a lot more, I'm going to be honest.
I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, I know, man. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what happened there. Yeah, it is. Tough. We're not. Listen, my mistake. Because
we can't. It's a great place to start, Jared. It's a great place to start.
Family Feud. We have Kyle Stowers on the show. We're not opening with 30 minutes of Dallas talking about the fucking A's without taking a breath and no one else getting a word in. We're not doing that today.
Well, you can. Do you have your positive thoughts lined up about the A's? Because we'll get to you in a minute. Jayhay, do you have your positive thoughts lined up?
Well, yeah. I mean, I will say this.
I do actually, but yeah.
I got an Instagram follow yesterday from a big fan. So yeah, and I was pretty pumped about it.
Big Amish guy.
Yeah, and I was happy to reciprocate. You know, I was happy to be like, you know what, man. If it helps you, it helps me too. So big fan of Nick Kurtz, and apparently it's a two-way street. Well, so I'm happy to see that. You know.
Right.
Happy to see that. But that's where the A's, I think. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was going to say, as long as we're doing A's and Kurtz content, you know, to open the show.
Sure.
Yeah, before Dallas gets his spiel.
That's about the extent of the A's conversation. They swept the Tigers. Shout out to the A's. Congratulations. And I also got the follow from Nick Kurtz, which is big. Because obviously Dallas is not going to get the fucking guy on the show. It's going to have to be me that's like, hey, I understand you're a big fan of my pick'ems and, you know, you love the show. Would love to get you on. And then that's where the podcast, I guess, relationship begins. But again, I don't want to start A's because we have Kyle Stowers on the show today, and it's a very, very big interview, and it was excellent. I grade it it's an 80 grade interview. It's an 80 grade interview.
Yeah,
Usually.
And I'm pumped about the Stowers thing. I couldn't be higher on the interview. If we're doing Kurtz content, though, I do just want to slip in really fast that I may have been overzealous in a tweet that I sent out like 48 hours ago about comparing two people, Nick Kurtz and this other guy. I just want to say that that was probably a mistake.
Oh,
all right.
So
we can move on.
Accountability party of one. Your table is now ready. We've been waiting for you.
Yeah, people hated that tweet. That's done big numbers. Gotten a lot of feedback on that one. I think in hindsight, I was overzealous. I do appreciate the responses.
I like Homer's too, Jay. I like Homer's too. Roman Anthony is a contributor to the Mayor's Hitman in the fantasy league, so I appreciate it. But
no, yeah, cool the Jets a little bit for sure, and I do appreciate everybody who decided to tell me what Kurtz's weighted runs created plus is, because it's not like I didn't know that before the tweet. But yeah, no, good A's content to start it off. Tough day for the Tigers. I have serious concerns about the Tigers, though, if we want to do some Tigers talk here. But if we want to just get to the Stowers interview, that's fine, too.
Yeah. Whichever route we want to go, Jared. Whichever route we want to go.
I bet the Stowers interview is going to be better than whatever I have to say about the Tigers.
Well, I think the Stowers interview can be compared to what the A's have done, right?
No. Jared, toss to the interview.
Thank you so much for Kyle Stowers coming on the show, and we'll be right back on the other side. All right, we got Kyle Stowers on the show, who, by the way, is an all-star in what year is it? 2025. 2025 all-star from the Miami Marlins. Actually, the second player from the Marlins that we've had on the show just like in the last month. Like, we've got like Marlins fever over here. But I want to know right off the bat, because it was not an overnight success type deal. I saw the vision. I just want that on the record. I saw the vision, but in year 4 in the big leagues, what flipped for you? Where it was just like, actually, I'm going to be an all-star. Actually, I'm going to be pushing 300. Actually, I'm going to be a 900 plus OPS guy. How does that switch get flipped?
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind is there's this book I read called Pound the Stone, and it's like, the stone cutter hits the stone 100 times without, a single crack. And then on the, 101st blow, it falls apart, and, it wasn't the one strike, but the 100 before it. And so you're absolutely right. Definitely wasn't something that happened overnight. I think for me, it was really big last year getting traded to get the chance to play, every day with the team. But obviously I didn't play well. But I think what that started for me was a little bit of this like accountability. There was no more excuse. There was no more, if I had every day at bats, then, things would, I'd show that I was a good big league player, or, whatever. There's no more crutch. And so, it forced me to kind of, start the process of looking myself in the mirror. And obviously we got a new coaching staff, this spring, and, the staff was just unbelievably encouraging to me. I still I literally asked, Clayton, I asked our hitting coaches, I go, did you guys actually think I was going to be good as I'm, striking out twice a game during spring and just continuing to not play well? And they still swear that they truly believed in me. And so that was huge. And then, a couple, mechanical, adjustments that have, put me in a spot where I was, on time more consistently, gave myself more space to, I guess, in lack of a better way to put it, let my hips move correctly. And then a lot of mental adjustments as well. Sorry, I'm talking so long, but yeah.
No, this is you're playing into exactly what I was hoping the answer would be, in that, because high school kids, college kids listen to the show too. And I think they need to hear it's not just a matter of, I made this adjustment with my hands, and then all of a sudden I have a 900 OPS in the big leagues. I need to fix this. I need to start believing here. It's a mental thing. It's a physical thing. It's a change of scenery thing. It's a more at bats thing. It's an accountability thing. It's not for anyone that has struggled. Obviously, I don't know that big leaguers are getting big league advice from this podcast, but there's plenty of kids that hope to be big leaguers that listen to the podcast. That need to hear that if you make an adjustment, it can be the right adjustment, but you haven't yet reached the result because you have to change this and that. It's that's an important perspective to have.
Yeah. I have a good story for you in the spring. And to me, it was the kind of the pivotal point. If I had to look back at one moment that started, this, so-called, breakout or whatever you want to call it. During the spring, as I mentioned, I'm, striking out twice a game. Literally feels like, I think I had a 50% strikeout rate during the spring. And, but on the backfields, I'm, hitting homers, feels like getting barrels every live at bat session in the cage, doing great stuff. It seems like I'm getting better. And then I would, go on the field and in these spring training games, and, it was more of the same. And it was really frustrating. And, one of the days, one of our hitting coaches, Derek Showman, comes up to me and he goes, "Are you panicking?" And I go, "No, I'm not panicking. I'm just frustrated." And then we had an off day the next day. He calls me and says the same thing. He goes, "Are you panicking?" And I start to inch a little closer. I go, "Well, I wouldn't say I'm panicking. I wouldn't use that word, but maybe what you think I'm feeling is what I'm feeling. I just wouldn't describe it as panicking." And he goes, "All right, well, do you want to come in tomorrow and get some, early work in before everyone else? We'll open up the cage a little earlier so you don't have to rush." And the next day I walk into the cage and I just, go, "I'm panicking because, I've done all this great stuff in the cage, everything I just told you guys, and no results have shown." He goes, "Great. We can work with that." And me, him, and Pedro Guerrero, our hitting coach, we talked for 30 minutes, just talking. And in that moment, I felt like they start to understood me as a person, not just a player. And then there was one really cool moment. Pedro showed me a AAA home run I had hit. And it was actually weirdly just very cathartic experience for me, because I used to view everything I did in AAA as not good enough for the big leagues. And so I always look back at my swing, or anytime I performed well, I was that guy's not good enough. I have to do something else to be able to have success at the major league level. And what that moment did was I was Pedro literally goes, "Be that guy." And I was "Oh, I just got to be that guy," which, is myself, and I was I can do that. And it didn't get necessarily 100% better right away, but that was just a very, very cool moment for me. And I think what you're getting at is so right. Like, it's not just a physical adjustment. Like it was a big mental adjustment and learning how to like not put so much pressure on myself. I was the only guy in my life, I say this all the time, who was telling myself it would not be okay if I did not have success at the major league level like I think I should. My wife wouldn't treat me any differently. My family wouldn't treat me any differently. My friends, all my loved ones, no one would treat me any differently. So why should I treat myself differently if I don't play well?
That is a very advanced mental perspective to gather. And I have to believe, running into what you ran into earlier in your career, which is playing for one organization and finding yourself in the lap of another, there's a big adjustment period that has to occur there. And it seems like you were able to do so very quickly. What can you look back on that allowed you to make that adjustment as quickly as you did? Because you and I both know how difficult it is to walk into a room without having been able to prove who you know you are. And all the while, you're almost selling yourself to these people who don't quite know what you're capable of yet, but you know full well what you're capable of. Having those conversations, what was something that helped ease you in to the room, I'll say, and allowed you to free yourself up mentally to where you could have those conversations and be honest with the man in the mirror and walk into the cage that day and go, you know what? Fuck, hand up, panic mode. What do we got?
Yeah, I think for me, it was like, well, how I'm operating currently is not working. And so I felt like, trying to like, play this game of like, you always want to come across as like ultra confident, and that like everything's going well and carrying yourself carrying yourself well. But I think for me, what I realized was like I'm just like, I'm shooting myself in the foot right now, and I need to figure out a different way because like I'm not helping myself out. And what I found with that was vulnerability actually has been empowering for me. I try to be very vocal with everyone in the clubhouse about fear of failure, concerns, when I'm not feeling right. And what I have realized with that is like, that this end result that I'm maybe scared of or whatever is actually really doesn't have that much power over me. And I think what I've seen, and hopefully, I guess what I hope for others is that like that can be empowering for them as well. And then we can create this atmosphere that like, it's like, hey, we care about each other as people first and then players second. And the closer we are as a team, that will bring us like off the field, that will bring us together on the field. And I think, like you said, like you're getting at, it's not easy to do that in a new clubhouse. So when I got traded, it took time to feel that level of comfortability and confidence is remembered, right? So I leaned back on, my experiences in college. I struggled, pretty much anytime I go to a new location, I've struggled. It takes me time to get a little bit adjusted. And I just remember, like, I grew up in a K through 12 school, small Christian school, 13 years, same campus, same group of friends. And when I went to college, it was very challenging for me that first year. And what I've learned was it's just because those relationships take time to develop. And so during the spring, as like I'd gotten 2 months with these guys, these players, and then time in spring training, I began to feel more comfortable with them and felt like I was able to put myself out there a little bit more.
I'm curious about, because it is a young group. The Marlins are a young group, but because you are 27 and you've been in the big league since 2022, like, do you mentally view yourself as more of a veteran, or because this is your breakout year, are you on like the more like, not obviously a rookie, but do you view yourself on the younger side of the spectrum or on the veteran side of the spectrum?
Yeah, I definitely view myself more on the younger side of the spectrum as far as, the landscape of this game. Still feel like I'm figuring out, a lot of things. Still learning how to, I said this before, the game's always chasing after you. So definitely don't feel like, like I've made it point yet. But that being said, I think, having smaller, like we don't really have a veteran presence on the position player side of things with the Marlins. And I guess I don't mean that, I just from a service time perspective.
Sure.
Right.
But that being said, like, by committee, like it's just one of those things, truth is truth. Like, and I think we have guys who have been in a major league clubhouse long enough to know, the right way to go about things. And so I think it's kind of like an iron sharpens irons and iron approach, and, kind of having multiple guys kind of, I guess, be leaders, if you will. And but I still view myself on the younger end of things, obviously, given I've only got about 2 years of service time.
Sure, but you're gonna have younger players looking up to you now. Like after this season, you're gonna have guys approach you, and even now, just from the perspective that you've offered in the first 15 minutes of this interview, people are gonna be like, all right, like tell me more about the mental side of the game, because if that helped you unlock what you've unlocked, what can that do for someone else that's just like on the precipice of unlocking that thing, where the mental side of the game is the only thing that's holding them back? Like you as a younger player, you may hold the key for someone else, a teammate that, you may not view yourself as a veteran, but you may have the thing that helps someone else.
Yeah. And that's where the something our bench coach Carson has really encouraged me on this year from day one, cause I've kind of voiced that comment about, not really having anyone that, I've played with guys at 8-10 years of service time that kind of very clearly take that leadership role. And, I voiced to him like before opening day, like I was like, I feel like, I kind of understand, how I guess things should go within, or at least how things went for me when I was coming up and what some of the guys did to help, guide. And I was always, like, hey, like, I just don't necessarily feel comfortable to kind of be that guy who speaks up or whatever at first, because A, I don't have a ton of service time, and B, I haven't played well at all. And so kind of a funny story when I had to walk off on opening day, he texted me and he said, "Can you be a leader now?" And so, but yeah, I think one thing like that is, you're 100% right, is like, if I try my best to share, at least for sure on the mental side of things. I don't know if I could necessarily break down someone's swing, but I do feel pretty passionately about this type of mindset that I've been able to capture so far this season. And just because, like, I think within this game, there's so much uncertainty day to day, and we try so hard to grip on as tight as we can to like kind of like have strings attached to the results. We're trying to kind of micromanage things so that we feel like, okay, like I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to have a good day. And the reality of it is we don't have that type of control. There's so many things that happen outside of our control. So the best, I think, mindset that we can all have as players is actually to lean into that uncertainty, whether you're feeling good or bad, and go, hey, I don't know what can happen today. I just want to be there for it, and be as present as I possibly can for it, so that whatever is going to happen will unfold. And sometimes when we try to go, I need to get results, and we try harder, the further they get from us. And that's just kind of what I realized in myself the last couple of years.
Jared, Jayhay, guys, I think you probably feel what I feel right now. The answer to the question at the end of this, I'm very excited to hear what the answer to that question is for reasons we're already learning. Kyle, we'll get there, my man. Yeah. And fucking newsflash, pal, you're an all-star. Whether that qualifies as you arriving, as you being here or not, I don't give a damn. It's written down. It's on the Baseball Reference. That shit ain't going away. You're an all-star, pal. And in order to get there, you go through some moments of shock and awe. And I am genuinely curious right now to hear if whether or not you feel like you've had your, oh shit, I'm in the big leagues type moment. Have you had the aha moment yet? And if so, what was that like for you? Because I can only imagine the kind of perspective you were gathering in the moment. You strike me as somebody who doesn't really have a problem sometimes of smelling flowers. You just kind of have to be led to them. Yeah,
it's so tough during the season to get out of battle mode, because whether you go 4 for 4 or 0 for 4, you're right back at it tomorrow, which is, so much, so many good things in that, because it forces you to stay day to day and not get too far ahead. I have two, I have one welcome to the big leagues moment. It was when I first got called up. This is more of one of the negative ones for me. I just got recalled because I don't know if you guys knew, I debuted as a COVID replacement player in June of 22. There for 4 days, went back, got called up. I consider this my call up in August of that year. And it was right before the Little League Classic. I was with Baltimore and we played the Boston Red Sox in the Little League Classic. And it was, I guess, since being called up, it was my third day since being back. We did all the, sliding down the hill, going to the games, all that stuff. And then there was a bunch of rain. So we didn't really do anything outside. Didn't take, ground balls, didn't hit BP outside, just cage. And, at that time I was just trying to be as quick as I possibly could in the cage, stay out of everyone's way. Playing Sunday Night Baseball, first time on national TV like that. And I go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts on Sunday Night Baseball. And we got a little bonus for going to that little league game. And just the way I told myself, thing I told myself after was I made a good bit of money for per strikeout tonight. I think the thing that really hit me this year, the moment of just like, starting to get a lot more attention was probably the walk-off grand slam early in the year. When that happened, it was just like probably the most surreal moment, kind of the most pinch me moment I think I've experienced in my life playing baseball. That was really special. And I just was like, holy cow, like that's something I'll never forget about.
Well, because you go leading up to the break and then coming out of the break, you were a man on fire, an absolute terror. 3 homers, 2 homers in the first game back. Like, what was it? 8 straight knocks, right? Knocks in 8 straight at bats. You reach base in 10 straight fucking plate appearances, 11 RBIs in those 2 games. Like, you were a man on fire. What is going through your head leading up to the point? Are you having the conversation with yourself like, bro, we're going to the All-Star game. You keep this shit up and we are fucking go. We're going. We're there.
Yeah, I probably had that on my radar a little too early of going to the game. And because obviously as a player, like
you're ranking. I mean, come on, it's there.
Everyone has that, like, I think it's on every player's bucket list to get to go. And, but as we got closer to, and I was, having that game in Baltimore, I'm hesitant to say this because it sounds so cheesy, but like it did feel like a movie. It was so surreal. And then we get on a private jet to go to the All-Star game. Yeah. And I was just like, I just looked at my wife and I just said, this is, we're not living real life right now. This is crazy.
You're in the big leagues, baby.
It was 5 bombs in 2 games, one of which was a walk-off, and then he gets on the PJ to go to the All-Star game. So he can walk the red carpet there with all the other All-Stars. Yeah. That. Take me through. I mean, if you're big into the mindset and mentality part, what were you thinking during that run of 5 home runs in 2 games, and you're hitting a walk-off tank, knowing that you're going to the All-Star game? Like, what do you have to tell yourself, so that you don't think that, you're Barry Bonds, but you also have to have positive reinforcement, be like, you're doing something right. Let's remember the right things that we're doing every day. Like, you have to give yourself that, but you also can't get too high or too low. Like, what was, I guess, your mental process when you're in the middle of Dante's Inferno?
Yeah, I've had a question a couple times post game that, like, what does it feel like right now? And it's never as sexy as it looks. I can tell you that. I think sometimes that's the best time why we forget when we break out as players. Like, we look back and we go, man, I felt so good during that time. And the reality of it is that you actually, like, right before it, you didn't, and you were kind of problem solving. And so I think it starts there. It starts with the problem solving mentality. When I was in Baltimore, the Sunday before I hit the 3 home runs, I kind of had been talking about that series, like I kind of just started verbalizing it to some of the coaches. I go, like, it's okay to admit that I really want to hit a home run here. And I was like, I just really want to hit a home run here. And so I started talking about it. But before that game, I actually wasn't really swinging all that well before the game. And one of our hitting coaches show, actually, like, he said this a couple times, and there's so much truth to it, is like, when he'll be like, no one has failed more than you today. And what's good about that is that I've started the solutions process. Like, and that's why I try to challenge myself in training every day is I want to start those solutions. But when you're not feeling as good as you'd like to be, maybe it kind of forces you to, hopefully, you can go two ways. One, you can overthink, or hopefully the route that I would encourage people to take is actually to simplify things even further. And then kind of from there, like, it's responding to the game. And I think the good part of not feeling too good is you can have like a couple good stretches of at bats where you start to get too confident, and then you get a good matchup that you really like, and next thing you know, you're back in the dugout on 3 pitches. So, keeping that simplified approach, responding to the game, and then so there was the Baltimore game. It was the All-Star break after that, and then the Kansas City game. I got to face Estevez in the All-Star game, which I actually thought was I liked that I was facing him in the game, because I knew we were going to be seeing them right after the break. And so I thought that was helpful to see a guy, anytime you get to see a pitcher more. And so just felt like it helped the ability to have a plan. And that's where it just gets at in general, is like, you have a plan, you have your approach, and then from there, like, I just want to process the ball as long as I possibly can from when that pitch is released from the pitcher's hand. If the pitch is released at, let's call it whatever, 60 feet, I want to see that ball as long as I possibly can for that 60 feet. And it's just focusing on the ball.
What has been, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think you were going to continue a train of thought there. So please go ahead.
What I was going to ask is, what do you feel is your best weapon mentally? Because there's a lot of things that we can sort of tune out mentally and just go out and physically perform. And then there's times where you have to tap in to the mental side. You can't just block things out, right? You enter the flow state and you can kind of just involuntarily react. But there are going to be times, and you have proven it, where you're going to have to sort of talk yourself through some things. So as far as your mental approach, what do you feel has been your best served tool for yourself?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I think it's my faith. I think it's, leaning on God, and I said this to myself in the spring. It's like, if I believe what I believe, why am I the most anxious person in the box? And so that's kind of been the tool for me is to lean on my faith. And like, if I believe that, like, regardless of what happens, on the field, that I'm going to be okay, and I do believe that, then I should act like it. And so that's kind of the thing that gets me grounded. I just want to, live a life that is, pleasing to God, that's making an impact on others. And anytime I'm, getting focused on, early, middle of the season, it was like, I really want to make the All-Star game. And that was like my point of aim. And I don't think that's necessarily like a reason why I play the game. It's something that I wanted, but it's just making sure that my aim is in the right direction, and that, like, again, like, I try to visualize, a good game and a bad game. Like, sincerely, like, I play it out. I try to go, okay, what does a really bad game look like for me? And on most days, like, my biggest fear is going up to the plate every time and striking out, and going every at bat with a strikeout. And so if I play that one out, and then I go, okay, what's a good game look like? Homer, generally for me, like, hitting a home run in a day is something that I want to do. So I play that out, and I tell myself beforehand, preemptively, that, like, okay, if either one of those happen, I accept it, and I'm not going to change who I am after the day, regardless of either of those things happen. And so for me, it starts with my faith in God.
Jayhay?
This has got to be the first time I'm going to walk away from an interview in the history of this podcast with, like, more peace of mind on my own from the person who came to interview. Youngest dude on the pod, wisest guy on the podcast. Can you walk us through the moment where you were tapped and told you might be participating in the swing off at the All-Star game?
Yeah, no, it's a good one. So I think, we had a pretty good lead in the game, and then they ended up tying in the ninth. one of the Dodgers coaches come up to me, taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, "Hey, just a heads up. If this game ends in a tie, there's going to be a swing off, a home run derby swing off, and because Gino got hit in the hand, you're going to be doing it." And I'm just thinking, I literally go, I'm not even kidding you. I go, "That's not a thing." Like, no, I'm not. I go, "That's not a thing." I'm like, "You're messing with me." He goes, "No, like, I wish I wasn't. Like, I'm serious." And I'm just thinking, nope, it's like my first All-Star game. It feels like there's a lot of people here that have like 10 of them, Freddie Freeman and Clayton Kershaw and all these other guys. So I feel like they're just messing with me. You know what I mean? And I go, "No, like, it's not a thing." And then he goes and grabs Doc, and Doc goes, "Oh yeah, like, I submitted 3 names, and then an alternate, and you were the alternate. And yeah, that's what they're doing." And I'm just thinking, man, you guys are doing a great job at this bit right now. Like, this is really good. And game ends in a tie. And, I'm kind of like still not really fully believing it. And then I see him convene at home plate. And I go, my eyebrow starts to raise, and I'm looking. And then, like, I don't know who it was, but the guy grabs a mic. He goes, "All right, so here's how we're going to settle this thing." And I just think to myself, well, I'm going to go grab my batting gloves.
Yeah. They'd be like, "Wow, you guys are really going to the edge of the world for this bit. Like, you get this guy on national television talking about it."
I didn't believe it. And then, next thing I know, I'm talking to Ken Rosenthal about how nervous I am to go. And I was really nervous. So, yeah.
I mean, it's almost better that you didn't believe it for as long as you didn't believe it, because that saved you extra time of being nervous.
I think I was, as soon as they said, I was like fighting it. I was like, "There's no way. There's no way. There's no way."
Yeah. Then you got Schwarber going up there just mashing home runs into the universe.
That guy's unbelievable.
He is. Oh. He's the best. He's a great dude. I think I already know what the answer to this question is going to be, but say the season ended today and you look back on the season that you just had. Like, you're hitting for a high average, you're getting on base, you're taking your walks, you're hitting for a ton of power. Like, what's the one, like, when you have a breakout season like this, all-star season, can you even look back on it and say, like, "Oh, well, here's where I want to improve"? Or do you just say, like, how do we do that again?
Yeah. I think, it's a good question. It has been a dreamlike season. I think, far greater than I could have, ever anticipated. I think it's a little bit of, what areas can I improve, and how can I clean up my move? How can I clean up my mechanics? How can I, continue to, if I get out of sorts with my mentality, how can I get back to it quicker? I guess to an extent, and this is not me saying that I feel like I've figured it out, or that like this is a lock to continue, or whatever that means. But like, kind of some things we've alluded to earlier is like, how can I take what I've learned and, pass it on to the next? And how can I, help, lift others up, on and off the field? And so, how, if I am, being in the position I am, like, how can I start to become a leader, or someone that, is an influence in the clubhouse? And so I think that's kind of, those things. But then also, it's like, genuinely what I care about most is I want to win, man. Like, I want to make it to the postseason, and I want to play games in October, just to get the opportunity, to play for something, it just matters more when it's a group achievement. And it's been fun to have some individual achievements, but there was nothing more fun to me this year. And, than that stretch we played from the end of June through, early August. And, where you go to the ballpark every day, and it's like, no matter how you're feeling, it's just like, how can I owe accountability to my teammates and to the staff and to, the city, to just be the best version of myself I can be today. And like, you get outside of like, how's my swing feel? Like, you just want to win. And so that's, I think that's the next step for us, is just continuing that belief of, we can win a series every time we play a team.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't want to keep you too long. So last one for me, unless anyone else has more. So last year, everyone was up in arms, and rightfully so, Paul Skeens versus Shohei Ohtani. It was the matchup that if you could pick any pitcher versus any hitter and vice versa, that you would throw those two guys together. I want to ask you, historically, if you could take any pitcher from history and put him up against any hitter from history, I guess presumably a matchup that's never happened if you feel so inclined, but if it's something that has happened but you want to see it live in person, you can answer that as well. What pitcher and what hitter are you selecting?
So this is a hypothetical that we're acknowledging is not real.
Not real.
It can be a little. Okay, you ready for this one?
Ready.
Shohei Ohtani versus Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I think at the All-Star game, I'm pretty sure like Pat McAfee asked him, like, could you get you out? And he was like, yeah. So
yeah, that's my answer.
I'd say so.
I like that.
He just cleared 5 innings punching tickets. Like that is a oh my God, what a freak.
Yeah,
that'd be
a hell of a matchup.
Yeah.
Well, the last question that we ask all of our guests. You have the opportunity to jump in a hot tub time machine.
There's a regular
and go
time
back
machine.
in time.
Standard.
It's a fucking hot tub time machine.
Yeah, it's a regular one.
It's
Yeah.
what's getting you to where you need to be. So, Kyle, it's a hot tub time machine. That's what you're in. Nice and comfy.
Doesn't have to be.
Flashing lights and shit. Drinks if you want them. You can go back into baseball history and you can watch any moment. What moment are you going back to and why? You don't get to participate. You're not getting the at-bat. You're not making the throw. You're just watching this. You get to witness it. You're soaking this up. Which moment in baseball history?
You know, I'm gonna play like hometown. You know, my hometown San Diego. So I would have gone 1998 World Series, Padres in the World Series. I think that would have been cool to get to experience. You know, I think there's multiple answers. I guess like in some how could you not want to go watch Babe Ruth like hit a baseball? Or how about this one? What's the seat in Boston? Is it Ted Williams' seat or whose seat is it?
It's Ted Williams' seat. It's complete farce.
I want to see that. I want to see that swing that they say is where he hit that ball, because that is looks like 600 feet.
Yeah. They measure it at 502, but it's really like 693.
Yeah. So how about that one? If we're going to go really specific, I want to see that alleged swing. Yeah,
I do too. And every time I've been talking shit about this for the last 2 weeks, because I was sitting out there when the O's were in town, and I talked to Cowser, and he was like, "Yeah, this was the conversation that we were having during BP. Is like, there's no way." And I was like, Ortiz took an aluminum bat and couldn't do it.
Yeah,
and then all the nerds in the replies are like, "Yeah, but like that was before the press box was there, so the wind and this and that." It didn't fucking happen, dude. I don't care what. Like, if there was a hurricane, that ball's not getting to where that seat is. It's insane.
Speaking of Cowser, isn't he not just a beautiful human?
He's the best. Yeah,
he's hilarious.
His brain. I love his brain.
I've lived a few spring trainings with him. We'd always live together, and so he's a treat to be around.
We got to get him. He's never been on the show.
You got to get him on.
Yeah,
it's gold. He's
all
gold.
Right. We're gonna shoot for Cowser next week. Then that'll be the conversation that we aim for next week.
Yeah.
Kyle Stowers, thank you so much, man. This has been a really fun interview. You're another brain that we will rave about. When you're not here and your name comes up, we will absolutely have nothing but positive things to say. So thank you so much for enlightening us and sharing those stories and your perspective. I'm sure that the listeners are going to appreciate that very much. There's already been rave reviews about your appearance on the show. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Super fun.
Best of luck, brother. Keep swinging it.
Thank you.
Wow, big thanks to Kyle Stowers for coming on the podcast today. I made a mistake because I should have told the great folks at home about the Underdog Fantasy app before we went there. But since they're here, since we probably have some new listeners, people that want to listen to that interview that got rave reviews, you should also sign up for the Underdog Fantasy app because it is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. I'll tell you that right now. I didn't hit my pick'em yesterday, but also like fuck you if you expect me to win every time. Like that's just not. No one does that. Dallas? Is there a person on planet Earth that wins every single pick'em? That's not a real expectation. I feel like the expectation now of me is that I have to win every single time because I am the greatest at making pick'ems in the United States, maybe the continental North America. I don't.
The continental.
Are you okay?
Listen.
Are you having a seizure?
Answer the question.
The continental asparagus. What?
Answer the question, Dallas. Does everyone hit their pick'em every day?
No. In English, and I can fucking try.
Sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared.
That postseason talk is rattling somebody, I think.
Good Lord.
I'm excited for the playoff. You're not? Oh, you guys won't be there. You guys will be over here, though, to support the cause, right? And we'll be doing some postseason streams, is what I'm being told.
I'll be at your house. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like, when was the last time the A's made the playoffs?
Don't worry about it. 19. We just ran out of time this year. We just ran out of time.
Yeah.
That's all. Just ran out of time.
Yeah. We're not talking about the A's, though.
Much like that Stowers interview, the A's have been a huge surprise, welcome surprise, a lovely surprise, Jared.
Anyways, some quick topics to run through before we get to Family Feud, which is why everyone's still here. People came for the interview. They're staying for Family Feud. That's everything else in between is kind of just nonsense at this point. But Shohei Ohtani last night. Congratulations on a victory, first win of the season.
Well, and a victory that represents a milestone of sorts, a benchmark, right? You get through 5. Yeah, sure. You polish it off. It's one of these things, like when you're able to do this multiple times, you start to feel like, all right, as far as turning the corner or putting something in your rear view mirror. Like that's from a recovery standpoint, those are important feelings. Those are very important feelings. And so to be able to do that is it's a big deal. It is. I mean, and I know it might seem trivial from his standpoint, but and like everything that he's capable of doing and the player that he is. But when we're talking about Kershaw impacting them the way he is, come on, we have to be real about what a healthy, viable Ohtani on the mound is also capable of doing, and what a team who is in major need of help in that department is going to be able to lean on with his return. Like if you're getting this every 5 days from Ohtani, 5 innings, 6 innings of dominant shit. Like, are we just acting like that's not a big deal? Like, is that not a huge? Come on, we're talking about the Dodgers getting Shohei Ohtani back. What do you mean back? Well, yeah, he's a pitcher too. Let's not forget. And this is now the capacity.
No one forgot.
I think people did. I honestly do. I think people, and when I say forgot, I mean I think people forget how good he has been. Just how good he has been, because I think you get wrapped up in the novelty. And when he's gone and you haven't seen it to the extent of a starting role, you lose sight of, oh shit. Like this is, remember we were talking about deploying this dude like a weapon down in the bullpen, where we're watching him, as I said, we're watching him go out and dominate in the 9th or 10th inning, punch out the side, come in and hit the walk-off homer. Like we were waiting, we were like just trying to manifest that moment. But let's not forget, this dude at one point in time and has been built and rebuilt at this point to do this, to give you length 5, 6, 7 plus. So yeah, I think this isn't something to just kind of gloss over. It's something to realize, oh, fuck, that's right. Like for as tight as the race is in the West, we understand what getting a guy like Ohtani back and every 5 days being able to account for potential outings like this, like that's a That's a big deal for the Dodgers.
I'm not discounting it. 5 innings. He punched out fucking 9 batters. He punched out 9 batters in 5 innings, only allowed 2 hits, and one of them was a homer. And that was the only earned run that he allowed. Did walk a couple, but whatever. If that's something that, to Dallas's point, I think, like some people are a little tired of being told how great Ohtani is. We know, we get it. But I think what you have to, it's almost like in order to look at it in a fair and balanced way, you kind of do have to cover up the name, because I think there are, for Dodger fans, absolutely like something to be excited about. If Ohtani is back, and by the time the playoffs roll around, if he's able to give you 6 innings and punch out fucking 11, then yeah, that's a guy that you haven't had all year. You've been leaning on guys like Clayton Kershaw, and Blake Snell just came back and he's looked good. And Tyler Glasnow, in the small sample that he's given you, he's looked good. But it's like you've had guys come and go and come and go. Yamamoto has had stretches of dominance as well, but no one has just been like, I am the constant, I am the consistent. But if Shohei is back, I mean, this is, you would know this, Dallas. Where did he finish in Cy Young, the highest in his career? Like 4th? Third? Top 5. Let's just say this is a top 5 Cy Young arm that the Dodgers are just like, oh yeah, and by the way, we have this guy too. You know, like that's where it becomes important from the outside perspective. Is I think fans outside of LA are tired of getting beaten over the head with, it's not propaganda because it's all true. Like it's 4th. Okay. It's all true. That's not propaganda. When you're just talking facts, the fact is the Dodgers have a bat that can produce 50 home runs, and they have a pitcher that has finished 4th in the Cy Young voting that they just reacquired. That's big for them, for a team that's kind of vying for position in the National League playoff picture. Because, I don't know where you guys stand on this in terms of what the most favorable matchup or outcome would be for LA, but that's very important. It's a very big thing. That's just in a rotation that has just been interchangeable all season long. Like, yeah, you don't want to have an interchangeable rotation, but at the same time, you can't really feel bad for them because it's like, oh, we just got a fucking like this dude is a top 4 Cy Young guy, and then this dude, like, we just got this guy back. He has 2 Cy Youngs in 2 different leagues, and then we just got this guy back who is getting paid $144 million, but we got this guy back. He's the highest paid pitcher in baseball history. So it's like, yeah, like when it's been interchangeable, but it's been with all fucking absolute studs.
Yeah, well, you're interchanging, like you just outlined, you're interchanging Cy Young winners, Cy Young talent, and the fact that you have your best offensive player also available to do what we're talking about on the mound now. I mean, it's almost like it's just like, is that just something shiny now that it's Ohtani who's doing it? They're like, oh, cool. Your best pitcher, or excuse me, your best hitter is also a really good pitcher. Like, oh, that's cool. Like we're already past that as an industry.
It's not like a novelty if he's doing this.
It never was. It never was a novelty. That's the idea.
When he was working back this year, you could say it's a novelty because it's like, all right,
no, stop that. Listen to yourself. Listen to what you're saying. As he was working back, Jared, he was putting together a fucking MVP offensive run. As he was working back to become
you're not listening to what I'm saying. With the context removed that he's working his way back. If he were a guy that's just going out there and going 1 inning, 2 innings, 2 innings, like we know that he's working his way back to get to the point where he's going to be able to go 5-6 innings. I'm saying when he was just going out there and pitching 1 inning, 2 innings, like it's more of a novelty of like, and I pitched 2, and it's like, all right,
yeah, okay. Sure, in that moment,
removing the context that he's working his way back, yes,
and So what I was saying is, and remember, he's also like, look at it this way. Let's phrase it differently. He was essentially going through a rehab to become a big league starter
in the big leagues.
In the big leagues,
yeah,
while being the best offensive player in the big leagues. Okay. Like that's the perspective I'm trying to give people here is what he's doing on the mound is reserved for the minor leagues and a controlled climate. Yeah. The big leagues is not a controlled climate. Not when you're in a division race heading into September. It is not a controlled climate. And when you are hitting in the middle of what is described as one of the best lineups in baseball, and you are the catalyst for that lineup, please, you have to put respect on that because that's not, nobody else is doing that.
I didn't even consider that, if we're being honest. Like the fact that, I mean, obviously I know he's, their best hitter, but you can't be the Dodgers' best hitter in the lineup every day and then have rehab outings as a pitcher in the minor leagues. It's like, either you're on the big league roster or you're not. So like, I guess it's one of those like, whoa, like what if this happened scenarios that you're seeing play out in real life. Yeah.
You just saw it.
Like what, like 2-3 years ago, it's like, well, what if Shohei had to hit for the Dodgers, but as a pitcher, he had to throw rehab outings in AAA. It's like, well,
you're seeing it.
Like you can't, like his rehab outings are at the big league level and they just have to be okay with that. And to be quite honest, like the results, they're not what you would be accustomed to seeing from Shohei, but they weren't bad.
That's my whole point these are numbers that are basically a big league rehab. That's what these numbers reflect. And so you can pick, like we will do, you can pick any point in his outings to say, all right, this is where he turned the corner. This is where this became more than, just rehab. This is where the outings were. Well, no, because not until you get back to that point of health that you were at where you are completing the task at hand, which was to go out and start a big league ball game, ideally finish it, but that's just not a thing. So give us as much as you got. Like, when do we get back to that point? And that's what this 5-inning outing starts to represent, is because we are starved for 5 innings of dominance from a starting pitcher these days. And when we get it, we are lathering ourselves and the individual.
Yeah. That's the most impressive part for me is, like, I don't know. Do you think, because as I was saying, year after year doing the MLB draft combine, of course, there's two-way players. It's not a foreign thing. It's not a foreign concept to have a two-way player. A lot of guys in college are two-way guys, and then they get drafted and you pick one. But if Shohei inspires this next wave of two-way guys to actually make it through the minor leagues into the big leagues, and we have two-way guys at the big league level, do you think that eventually they're going to have to come up with like the Shohei rule where you can hit in the big league lineup, but if you're injured as a pitcher, that you can rehab in the minors and still be active on the big league roster if you're a declared two-way guy?
I think yes, but then what could start? I mean, yes, because I believe that you're going to have almost a Hall of Fame talent, almost a Hall of Fame offensive trajectory to be entertained as a two-way player option.
Yeah,
I believe
it should be like if you're rehabbing in the minor leagues, then you can't get at bats.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna be one of the two, right? Like depending on, because
you have to declare what you're rehabbing.
Yeah, well, because what would happen because I think offense is the only thing that you're going to be able to do, right? If you're rehabbing anything.
Yeah, because if you're holding a roster, like you can't use it as like roster manipulation.
No,
so
well,
you're still holding a roster spot on the active roster in the big league level.
Yeah, because your ability to pitch, like if anything is hurt, it's not like you're going to pitch and not hit. You're not going to pitch. That's first and foremost. You're not going to pitch because we're talking about arm health, arm care, and any injury in the body can change something. So unless it's something you can work through, and that's another conversation. But yeah, I think it is something that they would have to entertain, because if it's an option, but that's where you get like player time or like just physical ability to get to a place. Like if you're the Dodgers and they've got a game in Rancho with their lower level, then okay, great. He can go get his innings in and be back. But that's what we're seeing. Like for Severino right now, Luis Severino is doing live BP. Whether he goes out on a rehab assignment, we're probably going to find out here soon. And if he doesn't, well, then that's because they feel comfortable and confident that what he's able to get in here is going to be enough. So it's just about making that decision, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it would be egregious that the Dodgers would suggest or request a rule or something like that as Shohei continues to age, that there should be opportunity for him to be able to rehab in AAA as a pitcher, but still hold an active spot on the big league roster to hit.
Well, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Because what is it? If you get sent down to AAA, mm-hmm. or you're on a rehab assignment, there's X amount of days mandatory that you have to like stay down there.
Sure, but if you have to return due to injury in the big league level, that's when you are credited for those days that you miss.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that should be paid attention to, because otherwise it just becomes well, you know what? The reason that we don't have this in place is because we never thought about it. Like that's not a good reason to not have an answer.
No, I feel you on that. And the New York Mets have successfully swept the Philadelphia Phillies. Is there any panic in Philly with the Mets kind of knocking on that door? I will say, in terms of the rosters, there's a ton of talent on both rosters. In the example of the Dodgers and the Padres divisional race entering play today on Thursday, the Padres are 2 games back. But I think that you could, I guess, objectively say there's a disparity in talent on those 2 rosters. Like the Dodgers are noticeably more talented. With the Phillies and the Mets, are the Phillies demonstrably more talented? I think the gap is much closer.
You're talking about, just
talent.
Overall roster wise, like if you want to go, like you're talking about position by position, just pure unadulterated talent. Baseball sex.
Like the gap in talent, is it greater between the Dodgers and the Padres, or is it greater between the Mets and the Phillies?
Yeah, I would probably say Mets and Phillies.
That it's greater. You would say it's greater.
I would think it's greater because think about what you have. From a star power standpoint, from a talent standpoint in San Diego, you got some fucking dudes over there. No?
I don't know. I don't know that I agree. I think the gap in talent is greater between the Dodgers and Padres than it is between the Mets and the Phillies. Jayhay, what would you say?
I completely agree with Jared. I think I said almost as much yesterday in arguing that I would be panicked on some level if I was the Phillies or a Phillies fan, because I don't see much separation. I think that's been true for the entire season. I think it's only more true in the absence of Zach Wheeler, which cuts into the Phillies, arguably their greatest advantage over the Mets. And, I think whatever stock you put in the betting markets, it is changing pretty rapidly as it relates to odds to win that division. I saw up near, 500 plus 500 last night to all the way down to like 350 today. So I think there's real reason to be cautious there if you're a Phillies fan. I think, yes, I agree with Jared on this one.
Yeah, I'm I guess, yeah. I guess I just want to give the Padres more credit for being competitive and that meaning something. I mean, I think, look, it's tough to argue with 3 MVPs in a lineup for starters when it comes to the Dodgers. So I can understand that. I think there's real talent down there in that in that San Diego Padre bullpen, though, and I think that's not something to just kind of be glossed over. Go ahead,
to
Jay.
your point, to your point about giving the Padres credit, like I think the three of us may be on the same page that the Padres are pretty equally talented to where the Phillies and Mets are at this point. Like, I think this is, in terms of just pure talent, at least from my perspective, I think it's more about the Dodgers on paper being in their own class than these other teams at this point. Like, I think if we were comparing the Padres and the Mets or the Padres and the Phillies, I would be saying the same thing in favor of the Padres' chances to come from behind on the Phillies as well. So I think, I think the Wheeler injury has cut the advantage that the Phillies had talent-wise over these other teams. Like, I wasn't even really factoring that in, to be honest. Yeah. I feel like I'm being repetitive on the Wheeler stuff at this point. So if I am, I'm sorry. But
no, dude, it matters. That's a fucking big deal. Just like it's a big deal that Ohtani's coming back in that capacity. You taking something like that out of the equation is I mean, just as, if not more impactful, because now you're spreading things thin. Right? Now you're dipping into the resource pool and you're asking some guys to step up. Period. That's just what happens.
And not for nothing, like the Mets just, like, we will see how he does, right? Jonah Tong, I believe he's scheduled to start on Friday, so we'll talk about him on Monday if it's electric or whatever. But the numbers are what we talked about yesterday. Like, the Phillies, Andrew Painter, I think, was supposed to be this sort of guy for them at some point this season, but I don't know that the Phillies have an equivalent potential asset like that coming for them at some point this season. So, like, again, that's one small data point or whatever, or one small player element of this. But yeah, I just think there's really very little daylight between these two teams.
That's interesting. If I'm a Phillies fan, I'm still confident. I still like my chances. I'm not panicked if I'm a Phillies fan after the sweep. It's I guess it's more of a wake-up call. I would like to see how the Phillies...
I'd be losing my shit.
I want to see... Let me know.
I agree with Dallas now on this one. Now I agree with Dallas.
I'd be losing my
panic
shit.
Mode. I really think it's panic.
I'd be losing my shit.
I'm not panicking. I want to see how they respond to getting punched in the mouth. If they go fucking 4-8 over their next stretch of games here, then yeah, all right. Then it's like, okay, we got punched in the mouth and we didn't get back up. But if they get swept by the Mets and then that lights a fire, like this is the action that I'm gonna give you the reaction to. Like, I'm not ready to react yet.
I respect that. You may prove to be the cautious, prudent one on this, but I also look at their schedule coming up and I say, they can get through this. This is also ripe for a problem because they have 4 against the Braves, who I realize are massive disappointments this year. I still feel like that could be a tough series in a lot of ways for them. Chris Sale's supposed to return as part of that series. They're in Milwaukee for 3 after that. They then get the Mets or the Marlins, but then it's the 4 with the Mets again. So, like, I feel like there's stuff to be lost here if the bounce back isn't the way that you're talking about, because this is not an easy road to hoe for the Phillies coming up.
They still have to play the Dodgers too.
Yep. In LA for sure.
I believe.
Well,
hey, it's okay to believe. You can still be panicked.
I think it's more just alert.
Yeah. I mean, they've lost in when we were recording at this point last week, they had a 93% chance to win the division per Fangraphs. That number is still pretty robust, but it's 74% today. So things are changing quickly. Can they stem it?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. You guys are negative Nancy's, which is unfortunate. I believe Connor is owed an apology.
I ain't apologize. Are you looking at me?
No, just in general, I feel like we all agreed that the Rangers were dead, and then they scored 20 runs promptly after we said that.
Are you demanding this apology for Connor, or is Connor demanding this apology?
Let me check. Let me see. I don't think he asked for an apology. No, he didn't ask for an apology. I do think that he acknowledged that we said that they were cooked, though.
I stand by. I don't think hanging 20 on a hapless Angels team that I believe at one point was pitching Oswald Peraza, who is
correct,
not a pitcher.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
At least not his day job. Congrats to them on scoring 20 runs and kind of artificially boosting their run differential so people can point and say, we were actually better than this. No, you just beat up on a shitty team who was throwing a lot of pitchers who can't get people out. And what is the path forward for the Rangers that we're not adequately respecting? Can I ask it that way?
No,
they're only 5 out, Jared. They're only 5 out.
They're not, yeah, but still, I mean, they are the bar. They are the floor.
I mean, we were talking about Eovaldi as on a per start level, maybe the Cy Young winner, if he had enough quantity to go with it. And while he was never going to have that, he was probably going to finish in the top 5. And now that's gone. So and they don't have anything like the depth of the starting rotation, at least the top end stuff that we were talking about with the Phillies to withstand this. At least I don't think that they do. I mean, the Rangers are interesting on any given game level because of things that can happen like last night. I don't see how they're any sort of threat to anything serious for the remainder of the season. Maybe they'll ruin some other team's season.
That's about it. That's about the role you can play right now.
Sorry, Connor. I tried to get you an apology, but these guys are fucking assholes. I guess they don't have any respect for the Rangers, which is sad. Sad to say that about a recent World Series champion like that.
Fluky World Series.
Wow. More disrespect. Are there any other stories that you are burning to hit on before I push this Family Feud button?
Not burning, but I mean, we kind of have to acknowledge the fact that the Yankees almost hit for a fucking hour.
Do we? It's against the Nats. They're not a real team.
It's still, I mean, it's still impressive. What a scumbag.
Oh, welcome back to Baseball is Dead, Family Feud. I'm your man for all 5 questions today, Justin Havens.
Wow.
Tough one last week for you guys. Obviously, I know it's been hanging over your heads emotionally for the last week. I'm excited for your bounce back opportunity. I believe it's Jared first, Dallas second today.
That sounds right to me, Jayhay.
It sounds right to me too. Quick thoughts on how both you guys are feeling coming in?
I feel like when we tend to lose, you never really try to double fuck us.
Mm-hmm.
But this time feels different for whatever reason. I feel the double fuck coming on today. So
laying
just
the groundwork for an
just
L.
know that my guard is up.
Yeah. Sounds like excuse.
Not as a dear friend of mine once said, Jayhay, not panicked, just alert. Just alert for the fuckery.
Okay, I'm panicked is what you'll follow up with.
Fuckery abound here.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of good PR work for excuse making after a tough L. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes it's all baseball, sometimes it's not. This is one of those not weeks. We've got some random questions thrown in. I hope these guys are on their toes. I told them to study up. Yeah. Hopefully they chose the right topips of the infinite number of topics that you could choose from.
What are the questions real quick before I pop them?
Oh yeah, man. It's on a scale of 1 to 10,
ethics.
how ugly is that?
Business. All right, good.
All right, pop them off, Dallas.
What the fuck?
All right, so last time you were second and almost came through as a hero. Today you're back as the leadoff batter, I think where you love to be.
I think it's where I love to be here because it
Dallas
produces the best results. Yeah.
Yeah, we all know what's up. Okay, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. As always, I'd get it on the third try. These are out of 100 fans. Thanks as always to the Discord for their responses. Question number 1. There were 30 first place votes cast for the AL MVP last season. Okay. Assuming 30 are cast again, how many first place votes will Tarek Skubal receive this season?
4.
Question 2. What is the most delicious type of berry?
Blueberry?
Okay. Question 3. Regardless of who wins the division, how many games will separate first place and second place in the NL East by the end of the 2025 season?
3.
Question 4. In the famous children's book, Charlotte's Web, what type of animal is Charlotte?
A spider.
Question 5. Cal Raleigh sits at 7.3 wins above replacement entering play on Wednesday. What will the first digit in his end of season WAR number be this season? So, for example, if you think he stays
8.
a 7... Okay, thank you. All right, put him on, Dallas.
That one question's fucked up. It's just has an answer.
Yeah, that's right. It's gonna be funny when he gets to that one, though, isn't it?
Yep. I can hear you, motherfuckers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. All right. I will. I'm just gonna tell you, Jared did very well, and he has set you up very well to bring this home. Okay.
Outstanding.
So you can be the closer. You can be like one of those fat loser closers who like makes the All-Star game with like a 6 ERA.
I'm into that.
All right, let's do it.
I am into that. Swag bag. Let's go.
All right, question 1. As always, remember, Dallas, these are out of 100 BID Discord fans. There were 30 first place votes cast for the AL MVP last season. Assuming 30 are cast again, how many first place votes will Tarek Skubal receive this season?
5. 5.
Off to a good start.
I
Question 2. What is the most delicious type of berry?
Strawberry.
Question 3. Regardless of who wins the division, how many games will separate first place and second place in the NL East by the end of the 2025 season?
3. 2.5.
You can't finish with 2.5.
Oh, 4.
Question 4.
This guy.
2.5. I guess that could happen.
Yeah, I guess it could.
It's happened before.
Fuck?
I'm going to guess it didn't show up in the answers, though. We'll find out later. Question 4. In the famous children's book, Charlotte's Web, what type of animal is Charlotte?
A fucking spider, homie. Or a spider. No, what? Yes, it is a spider. It is a spider. What if that's the right? A lamb. What the fuck? What am I supposed to say?
Oh, better than I could have hoped for. Question 5. Cal Raleigh sits at 7.3 wins above replacement entering play on Wednesday. What will the first digit in his end of season wins above replacement number be this season?
It's a 9. 8, 9, 8.
I'm taking 9.
8! Fuck! No, what? What?
You said 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9.
Yeah, Jake probably just had a second delay on hitting the thing because you threw too many answers out. 9 is the answer we'll take because 8 was already submitted. That's what was going on there. All right. Wow. What a barn burner that was.
Hey. Hold on.
Yeah, Charlotte's Web. You didn't see that one coming, huh? All right.
But how do I get banged for the right answer?
Well,
is Charlotte
you hear
is
that?
Charlotte
you
a
hear
pig?
That, you hear that when you've submitted the answer that's already been said, not when you say the wrong answer. Here we go.
What's the pig's name?
Wilbur.
Babe.
Question number
Wilbur,
1. There were
Wilbur.
30 first place votes cast for AL MVP, et cetera, et cetera. How many will Scooble get? Jared said 4. That was worth 12 points. That was tied for the second most common answer. Dallas said 5. That's worth also 12 points. The only answer that would have gotten you guys more was 1, which would have gotten you 19. So we have 24 points coming out of the first question, which is admittedly one of the more difficult questions, larger spreads of any of them. Dallas a little frustrated already, but I think you should be happy with 12. Question 2, what is the most delicious type of berry? Jared is a blueberry man. That was the second most common answer and yielded 20 points. So we're up to 40. I'm sorry?
I've never had a berry.
You've never had
a
berry?
No.
Like a boysenberry, a blackberry?
No. I've had the
raspberry?
candy. I've tasted the candy. I've never actually had the fruit, no.
Wow. It's nature's candy.
You've never had a single berry?
I have a video of let's say a famous Instagram model feeding me a strawberry, and that's the only time I've ever had a strawberry.
Are you trying to just savor that one moment, or are you just not?
I don't know.
They get better. Berries get better than that.
I don't know that I'll try other berries. Well,
okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll try. I'm open to it.
Okay.
Yeah. We're bringing berries for the stream.
Okay. I'll try berries. I think we have them at the house.
Berries and stream. Berries and stream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and stream. There's only a select few who are going to get that.
Anyway, I'm definitely bringing berries to the stream. We're going to get Jared to try a bunch, see which one he likes. Maybe we'll do a power ranking. There's more content. That's viral shit right there. Dallas said strawberry, basic bitch answer. Of course, that's the number 1 overall answer, 49 points. So we've more than doubled our overall total, and we're now up to 93 total points through 2 questions. So locked in there, raspberry and blackberry, the only other ones that yielded more than 1 point. So Boysen got a point, cran, pumpkinberry, and then, 2 that interpreted the question in their own ways. One went with cherry, and the other went with dingle. So Dingleberry got a vote. Yeah, not my favorite.
Not my favorite.
93 points. Question 3.
Regardless of who Ellen's brownies.
Sorry, wow.
Jeez Louise. Question 3, regardless of who wins the division, how many games will separate first place and second place in the NL East by the end of the season? Jared said 3. That was the number 1 overall answer, 33 points. You guys are now up to 126.
I wonder where 2.5 comes in.
2.5. Yep. We're going to stay at 126, folks. 2.5 did not yield any. These Discord people have literally
crazy, dude.
These surveys get filled up in 1 minute.
Number 1 baseball podcaster in the world, who is also an MLB broadcaster, said that a team will finish 2.5 games back when it's all said and done.
Nice stuff.
All said and done.
We're gonna check in and see if that happens. We're still sitting at 126 through 3 questions. In the famous children's book Charlotte's Web, what type of animal is Charlotte? Jared soberly came through with spider. That got you 68 points, folks. So that's a big one.
How is that not 100 points?
That is a big one. That gets you all the way to 194. So you are once again on the doorsteps of greatness. Now remember,
Show
you still
me
have
lamb.
Still have question 5. Remember, so we'll see what that yields. But what does lamb yield? 0 points.
Is this the first ever Baseball is Dead Family Feud 00 performance by somebody?
No, because you gave a wrong fucking answer and you answered with the fucking wrong team at one point in time to nail the first initial double.
Really vague.
No.
Sounds. You did the thing where you got a 0 and then again you got the 0. Do you remember that? No, I don't.
Check it. I do.
Okay, I'm glad. I don't know that happened, but
I do. Can confirm.
Yeah, so Jared got 68 points there. How is that not 100, you asked? I went into the Discord after the survey was sent out and just laughed my ass off at the responses to this question. 68 points. Lamb, as I said, yielded 0. Pig was the second most common answer. That got 23 points. So that would have brought it home if you would have said
people
pig.
thought it was a trick question.
It was a trick question. It's fucked up because how the game is rigged.
Cat, cow, crochet, Dallas, donkey, giraffe, girl, human, and lion all would have yielded 1 point. So
got it.
The logical farm animal that I named yielded nothing.
That's correct.
I mean, if you've seen the movie, if you don't get spider, you have to go pig.
Pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while since I've taken in Charlotte's Web.
Shout out to E.B. White. Cal Raleigh question. So you guys are 6 points away. Very likely, I think, to bring it home here. We'll see if a collapse is avoided. Cal Raleigh sits at 7.3 wins above replacement entering play on Wednesday. What will his first digit be? Jared said 8. Dallas said 8. Then said 9. Then said 8. Then said 9. Either way, you guys did it. You're back in the winners column. 91 total points out of that question between the 8 and 9 answers. 8 yielded 60. 9 yielded another 31. So you guys clear it by 85 points, a 285 point night despite double zeros. 285 despite double zeros. So next time somebody wants to say, Jayhay, Saddam, Jayhay Hussein or whatever, it's I created a situation where they had 285 points available to them despite Dallas farting over 2 answers. So I'm so kind. The benevolent
manipulated
dictator.
a situation that unbelievable.
The benevolent.
Credit to you here, huh?
Jayhay the benevolent.
Yeah. Wow. The second ever in BID Family Feud history, the second ever 00 performance right next to that other time that definitely happened. You all remember it. I don't even have to say the date. Everyone remembers when that happened.
You remember it.
Yeah. The old 00 victory. It's rare, but it does happen.
Tough to pull off.
It is. It is. Man,
I had the confidence though because I knew it had been done before, and that's why I was like, "Fuck, been here, no problem."
Lamb. I mean, you got boned on the Charlotte's Web one, but like,
yeah, sure did.
There is a correct answer, but like, you have to be thinking pig there. You got to be thinking pig.
Yeah, well, I was not thinking pig. I mean, my bad on the 2.5. I just didn't have the end of the season in my brain. Mm-hmm. That was the problem. We know. Yeah, I was thinking, maybe at the end of the month is. But hey, you live, you learn. You know, I'm not perfect, Jared.
No, you're not. You're not. But your dog's diet can be.
I hope so.
Yeah, and that's if you you add a scoop of rough greens to your dog's meal.
Rough.
Yeah. Ace is downstairs having the time of his life right now. It's because he started his morning with a scoop of rough greens in his food. Ace is a rough greens dog for life because it supports long-term health by providing live bioavailable nutrients, including essential vitamins, minerals, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and omega pills. It promotes longevity, which we all want our pups to live as long as we do, by addressing common nutritional deficiencies found in processed dog food. Rough Greens supplements the diet with natural antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that help reduce oxidative stress, support immune defense, and slow age-related decline, helping dogs stay active, mobile, and alert as they age. Traditional dog food is shelf stable for years because it's lifeless. Rough Greens brings the nutrition back, packed with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and omega oils. Rough Greens isn't a dog food. It's a live nutritional supplement you just add to your dog's food. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens. It's that easy. Don't change your dog's food. Just add Rough Greens. Rough Greens is offering a free Jumpstart trial bag. All you have to do is cover the cost of shipping. Use the promo code BID to claim your free Jumpstart trial bag at roughgreens.com. That's rough, R-U-F-F, greens.com, promo code BID. So don't change your dog's food. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens and watch the health benefits come alive. You know what I'm going to watch come alive? My ability to read. I'm a good reader now.
You're a much gooder reader.
Yeah. Leaps and bounds better than when we started this thing.
Yeah, you're nailing finasteride.
Oxidative. You shit me?
Yeah, that's a 4-banger right there.
Yeah.
And you had no problem.
Just didn't know it was coming, didn't hiccup, nothing. Just dominated that word. Yeah. Spit right on it.
Locked.
It feels like a great time for some award-winning nugs from our very own Justin Havens to send us into the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Hey, great to be here. Ozzie Albies is the first Braves player with 3 or more homers and 9 or more RBI over a 2-game span since himself in 2021. Good to see Ozzie back, at least for a moment. Not so back. Cade Cavalli. I don't know if you guys saw this. He's the first pitch. Yeah, he's the first pitcher since Thomas Zapuki on May 25th, 2022 to allow 4 or more homers in a start of 3 innings pitched, fewer than 3 innings pitched within the first 6 games of their career. So a little different than how things were going, say, a month ago against the A's for Cade Cavalli. Byron Buxton, 2 homers in his 2 plate appearances last night. Rest of August, prior to that moment, he had 2 homers in 60 plate appearances. Mark Vientos, a big part of the Mets surge here. He had 7 homers, an update of a previous note, 7 homers through his first 83 games of the season. He has 6 homers in his last 10 games. Have you guys taken a look at the AL ERA leaderboard since, let's say, June 15th recently? What you'll find is that the Boston Red Sox have 3 of the 5 lowest between Bayo, Giolito, and Crochet, with a little Trevor Rogers and Slab Lab veteran Brian Wu sprinkled in there. Jack Kohanowitz is the first pitcher in Angels franchise history to allow 11 or more runs on 9 or fewer hits. So if you want to be a silver lining guy, he was extremely efficient with his run allowing yesterday. He and Oswald Peraza, who is of course not a pitcher, as I mentioned earlier, combined to allow 19 runs in 3 2/3 innings pitched and exactly 100 pitches yesterday. So just some incredible work there. Update on the Cubs. I know Kyle Tucker has quote unquote figured it out, but the Cubs offense overall still really hasn't. In the first half, they ranked 7th in batting average, 8th in on-base percentage, and 2nd in slugging percentage. In the second half, they rank 27th in batting average, 27th in on-base percentage, and 27th in slugging percentage. So some real problems going on there. This is not my nugget, but I did think it was fun and worth sharing. It's a double nugget, double credit to a guy named John Anderson. Longest plate appearance streaks since last strikeout. Luis Arias is up to 53 at this point. The next longest right now is 36. And per Petriello, Mike Petriello, who quote tweeted that one, acknowledging that 53 straight plate appearances without a single K is pretty remarkable. He then notes that Arias is hitting 207, 226, 310, which is a 536 OPS over those last 15 games. So perhaps not all it's cracked up to be. And I will end on a note that I was requested, not this specific one, but on Nolan McLean in general, who delivered another dynamite start yesterday. He's off to, I believe I saw today that he is the first Mets pitcher ever to win his first 3 starts. He is also the first right-handed pitcher to have a start of at least 8 innings pitched while allowing 0 runs and 0 walks within the first 3 games of his career since the king himself, Felix Hernandez, did so, which I thought was pretty cool. And then lastly, we were talking about the Reds. I believe Dallas posed the question, why not the Reds, right? And while this nugget doesn't answer that question, yesterday the Dodgers' victory over them marked the first time all season that the Reds had been swept in a series, and that they were the last team to hold that distinction in Major League Baseball. So tip of the cap to the Reds on that impressive run. And those are the Nugs.
Thank you, Justin Havens. As I'm sitting here, Dustin May has been pushed back to Saturday. This is from Christopher Smith of Mass Live. Dustin May pushed back to Saturday, so that probably makes it more likely that Peyton Tolley makes his big league debut Friday, but nothing official yet. It would be Tolley versus Skeens.
Ew.
I keep seeing that Skeens is Saturday. Neither team has announced their starters for Friday. So Skeens is not announced for Friday. But I've seen Skeens Friday. I've seen Skeens Saturday.
You want me to call Donnie? You want me to call Donnie? Get you the inside?
Go, yeah.
I'm not going to do that right now.
Why not?
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna tip the Red Sox guy off on who's rolling out there on the bump and win. Guy. Yeah, well,
on this show.
Yeah, I know where that information goes.
That's so you don't trust me, is what you're saying.
No.
Okay, that's hurtful. We were just teammates. We just won together.
I know. Compartmentalization is one of my greatest attributes.
Imagine Derek Jeter in 2009 just being like, A-Rod, I don't trust you.
I believe that was public.
Bad example.
No. Terrible. Sorry. Look, I still love you as a fucking human. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You just don't trust me.
For sure. Just not in that context, not in that moment, not in that space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that space. The baseball space.
I got to protect my peace there. All right. Okay. And that's just something I can't do.
Sure. Do you have a final thought?
You know what? I got a few of them. Wow. Shout out Bubba Chandler, who logs first big league W. Holla. Well done, Bub. Also would like to shout out Brian Wu, whose incredible and remarkable streak of utter dominance, unfortunately, did come to an end with his last outing against the Padres. It was tough because there was a ball hit with 2 outs, just a tapper towards the third base side. He made a great play on it because he's a fucking ridiculous athlete. Bang, bang. Guy was safe. Was not able to finish the inning. So his streak of 25 straight starts of 6 innings or more has come to an end. But what a run that was. And also shout out to the green and gold. Shout out to the Athletics for slapping the Motor City Kitties straight across the face. They came in, took three from the Tigers and sent them packing and licking their wounds. A's playing great baseball. Been fun to watch lately. Those are my final thoughts.
Justin Havens, do you have a final thought?
Yep, just circle back quickly on the Ohtani stuff. I just think the goalposts have been moved on him, and it wasn't that long ago that people were talking, is he only going to give 1 inning per outing? Is this all we got? And here we are in August, and he's given at least 4 in every outing, including, as we've acknowledged, the best outing that he's had, or at least the most robust. His strikeout rate is a career high. His walk rate is 3 percentage points lower than it was for his career prior to this season. That strikeout rate is the 8th highest in Major League Baseball for anybody with 30 innings pitched, and his K- walk percentage is the 5th best. So I know it's in shorter bursts. I know that 30 innings pitched is not a lot, but I will just reiterate that I think it's a huge deal, and that both for I don't think it's Dodgers homerdom or anything like that. I think both for the context of what it means for Shohei Ohtani as an all-time great player and his legacy, and his ability to continue to carve out the two-way stuff, as well as what it means for the Dodgers specifically this season. Massive deal, and we shouldn't lose sight of what the goalposts were 2 months ago, 3 months ago, a couple of weeks ago. Those are my final thoughts.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm excited for potentially a Peyton Tolley debut. I rallied the troops to go to the game on Friday thinking I was going to see Skeens, but now Skeens gets pushed to Saturday. I could still get Tolley. And apparently there's a chance that I might get both. Could be.
# spoiled.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Spoiled rotten. Yeah, that would be outstanding. So, I'll have to report back on how that goes.
Please do.
Very excited. Jackson Holiday was on the podcast on Monday. Be sure to check out that interview. Mackenzie Gore, Slab Lab. Peep that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get those numbers up for the playoffs, so that when I don't want to fucking be doing customer service come October. Hey, where are the streams? Where are they? They're on the fucking YouTube. Subscribe. If you subscribe now, then you'll just know where to go. That's how that goes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And when we're streaming, which we'll be doing all October long for all playoff games, you will know exactly where to go, where to find us for that. All right. Everyone enjoy your weekend of baseball. We appreciate you tuning in all week, checking out the interviews. If you're new to the show, welcome. Love to have you. Hang in there for the playoffs. You're in for a hell of a ride. You have chosen the best place to consume baseball content on the internet today. So congratulations to you on that decision. Other than that, enjoy your weekend of baseball. We'll be right back here on Monday, where we do episodes Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, every single week until we die. We'll see you on Monday.
We out.